How's it going, High Plains? And welcome back to another episode of High Plains Media News. As always, I'm your host, Stetson Smith. Today, I'm going to have a quick update on the Sanctuary City for the Unborn Ordinance, or what is now being called Proposition A, as it will appear on the November ballot. On September 10th, Amarillo City Council met once again to address the language for Prop A as it's presented on the ballot. A finalized decision was made by a 5-0 vote. Prop A, or the Sanctuary City for the Unborn, will be appearing on your voting ballot with this language. This version was chosen from 3 options. The council decided that the longest version should be the best. It is also stated in the meeting that time had run out for further delegation to comply with federal regulations for elective administration.
2 is time.
Yep.
I have to have military and overseas ballots out by the 21st. That gives me 10 days to do all of the testing that we are required by law to do and to print all of these ballots. I currently have 1,500 city ballots to be printed. And I have about 200 military ballots, and that is federal law that I must get them out. So in order for us to take this back, test it again, bring it back to council, there is simply not time.
There are a few other things I found interesting in this meeting that I wanted to share, like Casey Stoughton, who came and talked about a women's health clinic in Amarillo and the need for women's health services in the Panhandle.
You can see from this slide that maternal mortality, which is defined as the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days from the end of pregnancy, but not from accidental or incidental causes, is much higher in the U.S. than any other high-income country. Maternal mortality is especially affects Black women in the U.S. Risk factors for maternal mortality include obesity or being overweight, chronic hypertension, which is high blood pressure, diabetes, and being low income. The need is great. There's a lot of inequities here in the Texas Panhandle with regard to maternal health. Access to maternity care and women's health services. You can see we have a maternal health desert situation here in the Panhandle. Potter County, Randall County, Ochiltree, and Hartley counties are 4 of the 26 counties in the Panhandle with full access to maternal and OB services. Dallam, Moore, and Hutchinson County have low access, and the rest of the counties in the Texas Panhandle have no access to maternal or obstetric care. Maternal mortality in Texas is higher than the national average. 90% of maternal deaths are deemed preventable, and 2/3 of deaths occur in the postpartum period.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of High Plains Media News. I wasn't able to be in this meeting in person, but you can always trust that I will be paying attention and will update you when I can. As well, I am currently under the belief that this will be the last update I give about the Sanctuary City for the Unborn Ordinance until the election. This has been an extensive and hard-hitting story, and it has been a pleasure to provide a medium for the High Plains or any spectators to go back and educate themselves on the development of this proposition, and I will always advocate for voter education. As well, I would like to just take 1 second, if you will, to share my personal opinion. I just want to take the second to personally advocate that everyone who is within our community is welcome to come speak at City Council or to contact our city representatives and let them know what you think about current city events. You might honestly be surprised as to who you could run into at these meetings. You may run into a very strong conservative who stands against what is being called a pro-life ordinance due to government overreach. Without going to city council, you may never meet the person who said, "At first I supported this, and then I learned more, and I've had a change of heart." Without you there to be a part of the discussion, you may have a hard time informing peers about the current state of our city's representation. So without you at City Council, it would be missing something. So before I sign off, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to those who showed up to the council proceedings and shared their voices with mayor and city council. And as well, I can't help but appreciate the mayor and council for taking the time to listen to testimony after testimony after testimony after, there were a lot. There was a lot of them. So I know that the hours that went into just purely listening to what your community had to say was extensive work. So with that being said, that's going to be all for today's update on High Plains Media News and a little personal message from me. I appreciate it if you stuck around to the end. And as always, take care, High Plains.